Have you ever looked at a football goal and wondered, why is it exactly 7.32 meters wide? Why not 7 meters? Why not 8? And who decided that this giant rectangle should be the target for every football player on the planet? The answer is actually pretty interesting, because that number has been part of football for more than a century. Welcome back to Football Frontier. Today, we're breaking down one of the simplest looking things in football: the goal. Let's start with the number everyone knows. A professional football goal is 7.32 meters wide. And it's 2.44 meters high. But those numbers weren't created using the modern metric system. Here's the interesting part. The original measurements were actually given in feet and yards. The goal was standardized at 24 feet wide and 8 feet high. And when 24 feet is converted into meters, you get approximately 7.32 meters. And 8 feet becomes 2.44 meters. So the strange-looking metric numbers are actually just the modern conversion of older measurements. But why did football need a standard goal in the first place? Go back to the early days of football. The sport wasn't as organized as it is today. Different schools, clubs, and competitions could have different rules. There wasn't always one universal standard for the size of the pitch, or even the equipment. Imagine playing a match where the goal at one stadium is noticeably bigger than the goal at another. A striker could score more easily in one ground. A goalkeeper could have a much harder job in another. That wouldn't be fair. As football became more organized, the rules needed to become standardized too. And eventually, the dimensions of the goal became fixed. That meant something incredibly important. No matter where you played, the target was basically the same. England, Spain, Brazil, Argentina, the World Cup, the Champions League, a local professional stadium. The goal remains the same basic size. And that's actually one of the coolest things about football. Think about what has happened inside that 7.32 meter space. World Cup winners have scored there. Champions League finals have been decided there. Penalty shootouts have broken hearts there. Last-minute goals have created legends there. And some of the greatest players in football history have spent their careers trying to find the smallest possible gap inside that goal. Think about players like Lionel Messi. He doesn't need a huge opening. Give him a tiny angle, and somehow the ball can still end up in the net. Then there's Cristiano Ronaldo. Power, precision, headers, free kicks, different styles, same target. And modern strikers like Erling Haaland have turned that same goal into a personal hunting ground. But here's something people often forget. The goal isn't just a target for attackers. For a goalkeeper, it's the entire battlefield. Imagine standing in front of a goal that is over 7 meters wide, with a striker running toward you, and only fractions of a second to react. A goalkeeper has to make the goal feel smaller. That's why positioning is so important. One step in the wrong direction, and the ball is already behind you. And here's another interesting detail. The goal isn't just the frame. The crossbar and posts also have standardized dimensions. The posts and crossbar are generally no more than 12 centimeters wide and deep. That means even the structure itself has precise rules. Everything is designed to create a consistent target. So whether you're watching a World Cup final or playing football with your friends, you're aiming at essentially the same standardized target. And that's what makes the number 7.32 meters so fascinating. It sounds random, but it isn't. It's the result of football's history, old British measurements, and the sport's need for consistency. A number that has survived generations of players, different eras, different technologies, and completely different styles of football. The players change. The stadiums change. The boots change. The footballs change. But when the referee blows the whistle, The goal is still waiting. 7.32 meters wide. 2.44 meters high. One target. And an entire sport built around trying to put the ball inside it. So the next time you watch a football match, don't just look at the players. Look at the goal. Because that simple rectangle has been responsible for some of the greatest moments football has ever seen. If you learned something new today, subscribe to Football Frontier for more surprising football facts, rules, history, and stories. And remember, in football, every goal has a story.